case, are you good? Okay.
Yep.
So we're recording on both of them, right now. We're good.
Yep. Everything's rolling.
All right. Go ahead, say something real quick.
Hello.
Okay.
I'm like trying to think, put my thoughts together. I really viewed it more as just like a culture, like a culture. What's the word I'm looking for? Like just a form of a representation of our culture, of who we are. And as far as women go, I didn't really know I never saw women driving lowriders, you know? Even when I first came out into the scene, I saw one woman in a car, driving a car. I never saw any Chicana women driving a car, a lowrider, owning their own car. Um, so as I've gotten, to know more people, I do see more women. I see there's older women that have been doing this for a long time. And I see that they've been out there and they've the ones that have been paved the way for us, the women that have been doing it, since the 70s. I don't know how far back it goes, especially just for women. I don't, but I've definitely, tried to pick these women's brains that I've gotten to know and just kind of get their feed and their insight from it. And I know it's definitely the women that I have talked to, it definitely has not been easy. Women are definitely have always been judged, talked about, all that stuff. And it's been hard. It's been hard for women out there. I know that one of the ladies that is a actually really good friend of mine that's been lowriding for like over 35 years. She tells me about how she would get into with the dudes, and she's from a colored car club because she's a black woman, and she would tell me like, yeah, man, I'd go at it with these dudes. I would argue with them. They'll hate on me. Like, it's crazy. And she's a woman, but I've, in some sense, have also dealt with the same thing. I really have. And, but, it's just about, I feel like now it's about us kind of coming together, supporting each other, encouraging each other, kind of building a connection, a bond with other women to kind of keep us motivated to stay, and not be driven out by the negativity or the, even just the negativity between women, because there's that too, it's a lot. It's a lot of craziness out there. When I think of Chicano culture, I think of us American born or even Mexican born, but I feel like it's mostly American born to Mexican born parents, right? Our parents are born in Mexico, come here, raise us in their Mexican ways, but obviously, we're most of us, well, born here in America. It's funny because I was thinking about this, and I feel like the big definition for me, or what I perceive it to be, is like we're um, born in America with Mexican parts, right? So we're trying to be American, but we have this big influence of Mexico and our heritage, our relatives, trying to combine the two, and I feel like that's kind of where we made our own identity of being Chicanos, and whether it be with the gangs or with the lowriders. But I feel like those are the two main identities that we stuck with, is gang banging and lowriding. And they're kind of one and the same, but just kind of having that lifestyle of struggling, trying to figure out who you are, trying to get ahead. It's, it's our whole being of from when we grew, just struggling and being Mexican American, and trying to pick your route, pick your lifestyle. From what I perceived to the guys that just homies that I hung out with, it was a family out of a family. A lot of us grew up, I don't say us, but a lot of them grew up in broken homes. They didn't have their dads. They didn't have their moms. They didn't have a well established family environment. And that's where that came in. It was like that was the main family for a lot of these guys growing up. And that's how they became loved. The homies showed them love. That's how, and acceptance. And that's what I saw. The guys that I hung out with, it was a form of a family, because, and even when they did have their mom and dads at home, it wasn't, I feel like there was never like that love at home. It was always the machismo. It was rough. It was cold. It was, you got to be a man. There was never, because even in my home, I grew up like that. My dad wasn't affectionate. He wouldn't hug me and kiss me and tell me he loved me. I grew up looking for that in a man. And so that goes back to young men growing up the same way. They didn't, a lot of men didn't get that at home. So they grew up looking for it elsewhere. That was us women grew up looking for love from a man, and men grew up looking for it. I feel like that's what it was, looking for acceptance and love. And that's where they would go to the gangs. We would seek all of that in a man. Whether he was a gang member, he was a drug addict, that's what we looked for. And we wanted to make it our own. Just like males, I feel they did the same. That was their acceptance. That was their family. That's where they proved themselves. That's where they became a man. That's where they grew up. That's where, they got their what is it called? Their, not their identity, but their manhood. That's where they got it, is going and finding this family that helped them feel like a man. And that's my perspective. That's how I grew up, and that's what I saw. And just as I've grown through the years, I've realized all this stuff. Like, damn, this is crazy. This is crazy shit we do. The shit we do because we love somebody. The stuff that as women, we've put up with our men doing, doing time, doing cheating, all this crazy shit for what? Why? Because we were lacking love and real affection growing up. And it was like, hey, if this is what it is, I'm going to take it. And a lot of us as women, that's how we grew up. And even now, women my age, they still kind of feel that way. Of course, the times have changed. So women are more empowered. They're more, educated. So they don't do that shit no more. But back then, just even when I was growing up, it was normal. It was normal for your man to cheat on you and you be okay with it. Yeah, you cause a scandalo at home, but you're not going to go nowhere. So it was, I feel like that's where it started when we were younger, growing up, in the environment, the family that you had is what kind of determined where you were going to be in life, And of course, most of us as Mexicans, our parents weren't doctors or lawyers or successful, so a lot of us fell into that category. I feel like my first reaction is like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty dope that they see it and they want to hype it up. But then again, it's like, but do you really know the backstory on it? Do you know where this all originated from? Do you know, don't just grab it and be like, oh, you're just using it to make money. But it's like, nah, you gotta really know your shit. Like, you're gonna be hyping up all these clothes, all this stuff. Like, yeah, you gotta know your shit, dude. You know, like like I said, initially it's like that's pretty dope, but then it's like you stop and think about it. It's like, wait a minute, but hey, that what girls went through shit to dress like that. You know, they you know, it wasn't a facade. It was a lifestyle. It was some crazy shit that we went through to look like that, and everything that you're making money off of. You know, it's I feel like it's hard to say. It's hard. I feel like that's a tough one for me. I know I've gotten asked that before, and I've talked to a couple of women that feel very strongly about they don't like it.
Like what?
They don't like that people are making money off of it. They don't like that they don't, people don't know the whole backstory on it. And that's kind of where, like I said, kind of opened my eyes to be like, you know what? Yeah, it's true. Us that grew up like that and know what we went through and the lifestyle we lived, it's tough to kind of just be like, yeah, use it for commercials, use it to look cute, use it for your IG, because it means a lot more to certain people. And but then me, I just feel like, you know what though, at the end of the day, are we there still? Let's make the best of it. It's hard. It's kind of tough for me to kind of say what is right and what is wrong.
Right.